Impact segment tonight, some disturbing, very disturbing news out of Syria. We're learning tonight that ISIS terrorists have reportedly beheaded American journalist James Foley. Foley disappeared in Syria in 2012. He was on assignment for the Global Post news outlet. Just a short while ago, a video surfaced on YouTube allegedly showing this horrific act. The U.S. government is working now to verify its authenticity. James Foley was, in fact, a guest on The Factor back in 2011, talking about a previous kidnapping he endured, that time by the Libyan government. Here's a part of that interview.
We stopped, passed the checkpoint, heard Gaddafi forces were very close. Not a minute later, two heavily armed Gaddafi pickup trucks came over the hill.
All right. You stand there and identify yourself?
No. What you did in that minute is the fire was so heavy, we pressed ourselves as far as we could to the ground.
All right, so they were shooting at you.
Yeah. Our colleague, Anton Hammer, was killed.
Now, what did the rebels do?
The rebels quickly turned around and
got out of there. So you're on the ground, the rebels split, Gaddafi's guys come, and they take you captive.
That's exactly what happened.
So they put you in the truck, and where do they take you?
They took us to a safe house in Brega, basically a house they occupied, tied us up, and told us, look, you're going to go to Tripoli. When we were initially captured, struck several times with the butt of an AK-47, punched. Very young soldiers, very aggressive. But once we were actually captured, the tension calmed way down.
Okay, so they didn't abuse you. Did they interrogate you?
They interrogated me for 6 hours initially, and that was kind of felt like a mind game. One guy would be playing kind of good cop. One guy would come in yelling and saying, we think you're a spy. And eventually he figured out, look, I just got to stick to my story, make sure I tell the absolute truth that I'm a journalist. That's my only chance.
If this horrible video, the YouTube video we talked about earlier, is confirmed, we send our condolences to the Foley family. And joining us now from Washington with his reaction to this breaking news, national security consultant and author of the book, The Last Line, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer. Colonel, I look at that interview and I look at that young man and it blows me away. These ISIS terrorists are the evil of all evil. Am I right?
Oh, they are the antichrist of terrorist organizations. Just before going on air, I was corresponding with one of my Muslim friends, and he said, this is not the Muslim faith. And Eric, let's be clear here. These people will kill anyone, to include other members of the Muslim faith, the Shia in particular, who disagree with them. And this is where Bill and I were talking about this last interview. This is not about Iraq. This is not about Iraq's future. This is about a terrorist organization which has designs on being the most ruthless terrorist organization on the planet, who has territory, who has funding, and frankly have the intent to do harm to anybody and anything they can regarding the Western world or the Muslim faith.
You know, we need to point out they have other journalists. Again, this guy's a journalist. Yes. This guy isn't a combatant.
Right.
They took a journalist. They held him for a couple of years. I saw the video and the pictures, and it was the most gruesome thing I've ever seen. These are not even human beings who are carrying out these acts. Colonel, tell us what their ultimate goal is. I mean, a lot of people are worried. Do they have eyes set on the White House, on America, attacking America?
What they've done, what they're trying to do is consolidate their gains. And this is something I'm going to say, this may upset your audience. Look, we need to go into Syria. This all happened in Syria, by the way. This beheading happened in Syria. These guys don't see a border between Syria and Iraq. What they're trying to do right now, Eric, is consolidate their gains, start moving out. They have a plan. They're not being shy about it at all. They're talking about moving out to elements to the east, west, and south of their current location. That includes all the allies we currently have. So this means, to me, and very clearly, their intent is to establish a strong base of operations. And yes, Eric, they're going to try to attack New York City, where you're sitting right now, and they're going to try to attack Washington, D.C., where I'm sitting right now. They have said it, and believe me, there's no reason to doubt their intent.
Now, okay, so as you point out, this journalist, Mr. Foley, was taken in Syria by Syrian rebels. Am I right?
Syrian rebels. Now, you mentioned one of the other journalists, Mr. Joel, I believe his name is Sotloff. Apparently, according to Time magazine, his last tweet was in Libya. So this other journalist may well have been kidnapped in Libya and brought to Syria. These guys are networked, Eric. This is the big thing here.
Right.
Remember
Colonel,
this.
But here's my point, though. Yeah. Okay, so taken in Syria by Syrian rebels. Now, a lot of people were saying we should be arming the Syrian rebels. Meanwhile, these guys end up splintering from the Syrian rebels, this ISIS group, and they're worse than the Syrian rebels or al-Qaeda.
as the chief of Egyptian intelligence told me last December when I met with him, helping move pro-Al-Qaeda arms from groups in Libya through Turkey to pro-Al-Qaeda groups in Syria and arming them is not a good idea. Eric, we had a hand in this, and this is another reason we have to be taking severe military action. I'm not talking about a lot of boots on the ground. The Afghan model, the model we used to defeat the Taliban in 42 days, can be used. And frankly, as you've seen the last couple of days, the dam has been taken back, and frankly, the Kurds have proven to be a good ally. So we do have the ability to start walking back ISIS. We can't wait. This has to be something we plan and organize now, or frankly, you've got at least one of the journalists, possibly two, who are now completely in danger. We've got to do something to go after this.
Colonel, I got to go. Very quickly, they're young, they're angry, they're focused, and they're well-funded. That's a big problem. Very quickly, quick thought.
Oh, they are. They are well-funded, and plus they understand the media. They're watching what we're doing right now, and they'll be messaging back to the White House very shortly.
Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, thank you very much. Coming up,
thanks, sir.
We'll go back to Ferguson for the very latest on what's going on there. Mike Tobin standing by.